I watched a kid a few years ago walk out of our program on day 3. Like just picked up his backpack and left. That moment stuck with me because I realized that we had made the same mistake that 90% of youth groups and middle school programs make. We built it for the kids that we wanted rather than for the kids that we had. So we went back to the drawing board and found something that changed everything. There are 3 non-negotiables that every middle schooler needs and that most programs get wrong. Let me start with what middle schools are actually asking when they walk into the room. They're gonna ask, what are we doing today? Really what they're asking is, do I belong here? This is a make or break moment. A 7th grader will take 5 minutes to figure out whether your program is for kids like them. Here's what's crazy. Belonging isn't built through icebreakers or games or the perfect youth group service. It's built through what I call micro signals. Micro signals look like this. They look like a leader remembering not just your name, but also what you said last week. Consistent routines so that kids know what to expect. And this one's huge. Physical spaces that are actually designed for them, not just borrowed from adults. I learned this lesson the hard way. I remember the first middle school program we started, we had the kids sit in folding chairs under fluorescent lights and had a group discussion, or we tried to have a group discussion. After like 2-3 weeks, after that 3rd week when that kid just got up and left, half the kids had stopped coming. So we revamped it, we went outside at picnic tables, threw on some music, had the same content for the most part, and the same kids, but a different result. All of a sudden, they started bringing friends and the program grew and grew. So here's your test. If kids stop showing up after 2 weeks, it's not because they're busy, it's because they never felt like they belonged in the first place. Once kids feel like they belong, something really beautiful starts to happen. They start testing whether it's safe to be real. Middle schoolers, as we know, are in peak identity crisis mode. They're trying on different versions of themselves every day. And they've got that no BS fake detector that can catch you if you're fake from a mile away. This is where most programs mess up. We want kids to be good, we want them to be polite, we want them to act right. But middle schoolers aren't looking for a place to become polite little middle schoolers. They're looking for a place where they can be real, where they can be themselves. And sometimes being goofy, being funny, being silly is part of who they are. That's part of their identity exploration. You can let them be goofy, be silly, lean into it. Be silly and goofy yourself. Be authentic in how you do it. And they're going to respect you and be more responsive. Here's what this looks like in practice. Kid shows up and they're super angry about something that happened in school. Not an uncommon thing. Instead of trying to cheer them up or like dismiss it and move on, allow them to vent. Let them just get it out and validate that their feelings make sense. This book, Finding the Magic in Middle School, it calls this authentic engagement. I can't recommend this book enough. As you can see, I've read through this a bunch, made a bunch of notes, but authentic engagement, letting kids be real is huge. It's what makes a middle school program actually work. So one of the ways that we measure success in a middle school program isn't compliance, it's not correct behavior. Even though we want to teach them how to act, that's not the main goal. We're trying to get at the root cause of the issue. And so what we're going for, the metric we're going for is honesty. Are kids comfortable sharing what's actually going on in their lives? That's when you know you've created authentic identity space. The final piece, and this might sound cheesy, the final piece is what separates programs that survive from programs that thrive, and it's purpose. Every middle schooler is carrying this quiet question around with them. It's with them wherever they go, and it's, do I actually matter? And if your program, if your church, if your youth group, if your classroom doesn't help them answer with a resounding yes, they're gonna go and quickly go find someplace else that does. And oftentimes, it's not gonna be a positive situation for them. And here's the key. Purpose for middle schoolers isn't abstract. It's not like, I wanna be part of something bigger than myself. It's not like, they're not asking, how can I make a difference in the world? Those are questions that maybe high schoolers or when you get into college, Those are questions that those kids might ask. But for middle schoolers, it needs to be something real. It needs to be something that they can feel and see right now. It might be like a sixth grader who struggles academically, but is really good at sports, so they're able to coach other kids and invite others into like a basketball game or playing soccer. Or it might be an eighth grader who's super shy. I've seen this before. They're super shy, but they're so good at inviting other new kids in and showing them the ropes of the program, or just inviting them into the group. Or it might be as simple as a kid who remembers to bring out the water when it's super hot out. This happens all the time. I'll forget to have someone bring out water when it's 100 degrees in Phoenix, and then there's always a kid who remembers, does it without asking. So we connect purpose to achievement, but not achievement like grades or awards, achievement like I did something that mattered and people noticed. And we get to be the people that notice. Every time they step into responsibility and succeed, even in small ways, it helps build their internal narrative. I have something valuable to offer. I matter. I belong here, and I have something to give. The metric here is ownership. Are kids taking initiative without being asked? Are they proud of their role in your youth group or program or classroom? And here's one, do they defend your youth group or your program when their friends or others make fun of it or criticize it? If a kid is talking smack about your youth group, are they going to defend it? When those things start happening, you've successfully built purpose. So there's your framework: belonging, authenticity, and purpose. But here's what nobody tells you, or maybe they have told you, and that's what scares you, is that this is really difficult. Building those three things takes a lot of time, it's slow, and sometimes you're gonna ask the question, does this work that I'm doing even matter? I don't understand this. I feel like I'm just old and I'm not in their world. It's all normal, so don't get discouraged. If you stay committed to answering these three core questions, do I belong, can I be real, and do I matter, you're gonna build something that doesn't just survive or check a box. It's gonna change lives. It's gonna transform lives. And I've seen it happen over and over. Middle schoolers don't need perfect programs. They don't need like the perfect production of a youth group service. They don't need you to be the perfect teacher. They don't need you to be the perfect program director. They need two things. They need authentic relationships, and they need a clear pathway to help them discover who they're becoming. If you're working with middle schoolers or thinking about it, I want to hear from you. What's been a struggle? What's been a surprise? What's caught you off guard? Drop it in the comments. We want to hear from you, because if I've learned anything, it's that we can't do this alone. I don't want to do it alone. We're honestly just figuring it out as we go. If this was helpful, hit subscribe. I'm sharing real stories, practical things to do with middle schoolers, because this work is way too important to do alone. So you've got this.